Welcome back. We are presenting you the most frequently asked civil engineering interview question answers. Question 1. What do you know about total station? Answer. A total station is an electronic instrument used in modern surveying and building construction that uses electronic transit theodolite in conjunction with electronic distance meter (EDM). It is also integrated with microprocessor, electronic data collector and storage system. The instrument is used to measure sloping distance of objects to the instrument, horizontal angles and vertical angles. This microprocessor unit enables for computation of data collected to further calculate the horizontal distance, coordinates of a point and reduced level of point. Data collected from total station can be downloaded into computer laptops for further processing of information. Question 2. Why the Leaning Tower of Pisa has not fallen over yet? Answer. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is a beautiful piece of geotechnical engineering. This tower is not collapsed yet because the engineers who made this tower have placed weights on the north end of the foundation to balance the structure. Now, it is believed that the structure will survive for hundreds of more years. Question 3. What are some common issues of the clients that an architect has to face? Answer. There are some common problems of the client that an architect has to face. When the clients are unsure what they want, their confusion may create a problem for the architect. When the client has a tight and limited budget. When the client asks for a custom design at a standard design cost. When an architect has to work with limited space. Question 4. What is the difference between absorption, adsorption, and sorption? Answer. Absorption is when an atom, molecule or ions enter any bulk phase like gas, solid or liquid. In this process, the energy of a photon is transferred to another entity. On the other hand, adsorption occurs when the gas or liquid solute accumulates on the solid's surface. So, adsorption is also similar to absorption, but it refers to the surface rather than a volume. The main difference between absorption and adsorption is that one is a bulk process and the other is a surface process. Sorption describes the actions of absorption and adsorption both. Question 5. What is the role of compacting in concrete? Answer. The role of compacting in concrete is very important. When we mix various materials with cement, some air bubbles are entrapped between them. We have to remove these air bubbles to make concrete impervious and attain maximum strength. Otherwise, these air bubbles would form voids in the concrete, which reduce the strength substantially. That is why compacting is important. Question 6. What is the best way of compacting? Answer. There are several ways for compacting. For example, we can use steel rods or paddling sticks, but mechanical vibrators are best for compacting. A compacting device is considered the best device, which reaches the bottom of the form, and should be small enough to pass between reinforcement rods. Question 7. What is soil analysis? Answer. Soil analysis is a process of testing soil to determine its nutritional and elemental composition. Question 8. Why is soil analysis required for construction? Answer. When the construction company starts the construction, they assign soil engineers to test the soil's composition to determine if it is strong soil or weak soil. Only the strong soil is used for building construction. Strong soil is the type of soil that does not expand or contract when exposing to moisture, and it has a good density. This is essential for long-lasting construction. Question 9. What is curing and how is it done? Answer. Curing is a process of maintaining a favorable environment for moisture retention in concrete, or supplying of water shower to the concrete from an external source. We have to sprinkle water from the top for curing the newly constructed walls. It is good for the slab or roof to make ponds of 1 meter by 1 meter and gently pour sufficient water. Beams and columns should be kept wet by covering a wet sack over them. Question 10. What is minimum curing period for concrete? Answer. As per IS 456/2000, for any structural concrete member, the minimum curing period is 7 days at 90% humidity, but if any mineral admixture is used, then it is 10 days. It is also recommended that the curing duration should not be less than 10 days for concrete exposed to dry and hot conditions, and 14 days for concrete with mineral admixture. Please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe.